It's time to jam with Juddy.
Yeah.
The NBA veteran.
Ranked.
And friend of Larry Bird, head coach of BYU women's basketball, Jeff Judkins, back in Studio B. Coach, great to talk with you.
It's good to be back.
Your team is ranked. Congratulations. What does that mean to you and the team?
Well, I think it's for the team, it means that we've been playing good basketball and people have recognized what we've been doing. And I think our program for the last many years has done a good job. And so when people vote, they look at it and say, hey, BYU's played a good schedule. They've won the majority of their games, and we got some good players. And so you just hopefully, it's hard because you're excited about it, but we're now starting the second half of our conference, and we got to really focus on that. We got to continue to get better. And other teams now we're going to play the second time. They'll make adjustments. And
the bullseye's on your back.
You're bullseye's on your back. Yeah. It is. But, there's some players and there's some teams that like that, and there's some teams that don't. The Patriots are a great example. They like the bullseye on their back. They've always liked that.
Everybody thinks we suck.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of teams that are going around. I mean, Gonzaga, man, they've got the bullseye on their back. They've had it. They relish that. So we just have to come out and play our game and do the things that we need to. I think we're getting better. I think a lot of players are doing the things they need to for our team to improve, and our bench is getting a lot stronger. So hopefully we'll just keep going and keep this up.
At this juncture of the season, in your mind, what carries more weight, a national ranking or being projected to be in the NCAA tournament, currently a 10 seed, playing in Starkville against Texas? I know that's all subjective, but what carries more weight?
The RPI, and the reason for that is you saw a few years ago when St. Mary's men were ranked in the top 15 and didn't go to the NCAA tournament. So basically, yeah, the ranking is great, and it's great for a lot of things, recruiting and people get to recognize you, and you're on the scores, on the TV, and all those things are positive. But when it all comes down to it, it's the RPI and where you land. My assistant coach Dan Nelson, he does my scheduling, and he really looks at that. He goes through the RPI when we're playing teams, how we're doing it, and he watches it constantly because it is important. It's important for us preseason-wise to schedule games that we can make our RPI improve, and then, of course, when we get in our league, this year our league has done very well with the RPI and how we've scheduled. And so it won't hurt us as bad as it has in the past where we start playing teams that are 250, 300 RPI. We don't have as many as those, so I think that's a real positive thing.
BYU's 25 right now, and 2 of your 3 losses are to top 30 teams, 28 in Cal, 29 in Utah. So not bad, right where you want to be probably, right? Yeah.
I think the one game Southern Utah hurt, but maybe that got us going and got us fired up. And sometimes as a coach, you would take those. But I'd like to play California now. I saw them play the other day, and they don't seem to be playing quite as well as they did when they played us. And that's part of it. That's the part I don't understand is certain times of the season, teams are playing better or they're playing worse. And sometimes you get penalized for playing a team early that's playing very well, and then they tank it at the end, and then you get penalized for that. And I wish they'd look at it and say, okay, when you played them, they were a 25 RPI, and now they're 60. They've dropped because of either injuries or they're just not playing as good. And that part of it, I wish they would do some changing. But I saw it when I walked in on the men's RPI, and heck with that. Who do you know? Who beats who and who does that?
And they got rid of RPI for the men this year. They have this new ranking that takes into account other things.
I didn't hear.
RPI is antiquated, but it's still used with women's basketball.
Yeah, I think you can look at it. What teams are better. What teams deserve. I watch TV and I go, that team's an NCAA team. That team isn't. I think the Big Five conferences. Especially this year with the men, the Pac-12 was way overrated.
From a former Pac-8, 10 player.
Well,
I like that.
No, I just think I look at them. I just think they're not as good as they've been in the past. When I watch their teams on TV, I look at it and say Gonzaga is a top 5 team. When you watch them play, you see that they are. You see Tennessee is. You see that Duke is. You know, Kansas has kind of dropped a little bit, but Kentucky now is starting to move up, and they were struggling with the. So, you know, it's a crazy thing. But you just do it.
You of course played in the old WAC.
I know.
Just last night on BYU basketball, Dave was very complimentary of your team, saying, "I used to in the Marriott Center when my office was in there, not ever kind of interact with the women too much. You know, I couldn't see him practice." But he said, now I get to see him, and they're in there all the time putting in the work. He was really impressed by your team this year.
Well, I think we have a lot of players that put the time in. There's no question the annex makes it so convenient for our players to work on their games. And we've tried as a coaching staff to really be there. You know, Ray and Ashley and Dan do a great job of going to work with these players when they want some help on their shot. Practices aren't quite as long now, so you do have a little bit more time to do some individual work. But yeah, I've got a lot of gym rats, and I think that's important.
Jeff Judkins with us on BYU Sports Nation. We talk about Dave Rose. Now he's facing a situation where not only does he have fourth-ranked Gonzaga coming into the Marriott Center tomorrow night, he now has a point guard in Jashir Hardnett that's coming off of an injury, and BYU's been playing well without Jashir, 4-1. How do you balance bringing him back into the rotation when you know he's a good player, but you don't want to disrupt what's been working well on the floor?
Well, I don't think Dave will change his starting lineup because, like you said, they're going 4-1. And, you know, the other night I watched that game against St. Mary's, and it was the best defensive effort I've seen BYU play probably this year for sure. I thought Cannon was outstanding at what he did to Ford and controlling. He's going to have to do that tomorrow night with their point guard and get them where they're not running their offense where they want to. Then I think their inside presence has been so much better defensively. They're more active, and they're going to have to be active with Gonzaga. One thing, though, Dave has always done a good job against Gonzaga. He's the way his style is, the way he coaches, and when he takes him out of Gonzaga has always struggled with BYU, and I think they're playing their best ball right now. Now, what do you do with Hart? Do you bring him in? Yeah, you see how he is in practice and what you do, and you bring him in a situation where he can be successful, and he's going to help the team. And Dave's done this many, many times, so it's not like this is something new to him. He's going to do what's best for the team and what's going to fit in and what matchups are going to be the best. He probably right now knows what matchup is the best for him to come in and guard. I think having him back will help because that gives them one more really good defensive player that can lock into people and do it, and also bring the ball up with pressure. I think Nick Emery's. I think he's been a pleasant surprise defensively. You know, he had a bad rap when he first came. He didn't want to guard anybody, but you watch him and he has been a total, like, just really coming in and defending and doing the things that he needs to for his team. And I wish we'd be here. We're going to be playing LMU. I wish I could be at this game because it would be awesome.
Hey, you got to take care of business against LMU,
Let's
man.
finish with this. You're at LMU. You leave today for that trip, and then at Pepperdine. What's the key to coming home with a couple of victories there?
Well, LMU is going to pressure us and try to up-tempo the game. We have to handle that. We're going to do a lot of different things. We're going to man. We're going to zone. We're going to box and one. We're going to do a bunch of different things that hopefully can get her off. And it's just going to be a great game. This is a big, for them, it's a must. Probably for us, it's a must too. You know, we take care of business and win this game on the road. That puts us in a great position. I really have not looked at Pepperdine. I do know that they're playing very, very well. After they played us, they went on a winning streak. So they're playing very good. They have, if not the best player, one of the best players in the league in Robinson. She causes a lot of problems with the matchup. So, you know, we'll see. Hopefully we'll come out and play our best ball too.
Coach, let's give you some BYU Sports Nation karma for the road trip, and I look forward to your road vlogging, including all of your staff doing impersonations of you.
Between the lines. I'm looking forward to that next Tuesday. It'll be awesome.
I'm going to try to do a little bit on this trip. I have those two players. They'll help me.
Kaylee and Paisley.
But I don't know. Awesome. I look at this and I go, like, do I really have time to be doing all this?
Yes is the answer.
You know, time is very valuable, especially during the season when you're trying to watch, film, recruit. and do all the other things, all the other duties of your life that you need to do.
You have time. You have time. Thanks, Jeff.
No sleep. Huh? Is that what it is?